Okay, well, I was just performing a little bit of a service inspection, tighten up on the bolt down here, which appeared to be rattling a little bit, but it's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is that while I was down there inspecting that, because I like to inspect things every now and again, because I kind of have this weird idea that if shit fails on me, it might cause very bad bodily injury, so I take servicing seriously. So, fellow wide wheel owners, I suggest that you have a bit of a look at your scoot. Now, you want to lock this down so that it pushes the pin in there and prevents the steering from turning, so that you essentially can't turn the steering very much. And we're going to look at the gap in here. So let me just zoom in. And I'm going to up the tripod a few times. I'm going to move the whole assembly here, and I can feel like there's, when I put a little bit of force behind it, there's some movement there, and you can see that the stem that goes, just zoom back out again, the stem that goes all the way through here, this part here bolts onto it, has the two bearings to hold the steering head here. That's seeming to be pretty unmoving, and you can see that it's not moving much up the top, but there's some movement at the bottom. Now that's a bit concerning, because I believe it means that the post that comes through here is going to fracture off from this part. Now this is cast aluminium, and the post that comes through here is steel, and you can't weld them together, despite what people might think or say. So it's cast into it. Now I've seen one or two that have failed, and they've always failed in a similar modality, and I'm just starting to see that here on mine. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this off so that I can pop that back down like I've done other times, and inspect the post at the join in there, and let's see where that goes. Okay, with the stem taken off and just laid to one side, you can just loosen these bolts. You can just loosen those bolts, and you need to take out the center one, which actually locates it in there. So now I can just set that to one side. Now I need to preemptively unpull the plug for the wheel, because the wheel's going to come off in a second. And I'll get my rubber mallet and I'll give that a whack. Now, order of these seals is important, so you want to take the top one off first and store it, and the one underneath that is, pay attention to the fact that it's got a little lip that goes down into the bearing. So it's just basically an interference fit into the bearing. Bearing actually feels pretty tidy, so I'm just going to go get a rubber mallet and give it a whack. Okay, so said rubber mallet in hand, didn't even need much of a whack. Wasn't that lucky? And then the bottom bearing is now sitting on the bottom, and so you can see that it actually has a slight taper. I'll try and take a better shot than that. Okay, well, I've got the wheel out here now, and I've had a bit of a quick look at it, and it definitely does have the problem that I have been trying to look for. So with the wheel held down, well, actually even just holding that there, you can hear that and feel that with your fingers, that's got some free play in there. So I don't know how long that's going to be before it lets go, but yeah, it's something to look for. So I'm going to have to try and figure out what to do there. I'm probably going to have to disassemble the wheel and see if there's a way of drilling down through the guts and putting a bolt through there to hold it in there with a plate on the back side. But other than that, I'll look for something that's available on eBay or AliExpress. Perhaps replacing it with a Widewheel Pro's front end might be viable, but I'd need to actually measure the diameters of the shaft to make sure that it'll fit in there without too much fucking around. So there you go, interesting stuff.